Hello everyone, welcome back to my Roblox beginner scripting tutorial section, and in today's video we are going over functions. So if you haven't already watched part 2, then go ahead. Alright, we're back in Roblox Studio, and we're going to go back to our script, and we left off with this, and right now we're going to delete this. And we're going to make a variable that relates to what's outside of the script. So here, this is the parent, or what is outside of the script. This parent is this part, or what's called parts. So you can double check this by just seeing if the script goes away if you click the arrow of what part you think it is. So how do we specify this? So let's make a variable. So we'll call this local my part equals, and we're going to specify the script by saying script and then dot parent, since the parent property of the script is the part. So this will specify the part. So how do we make a function? So we're going to do local again, but this time we're going to say function. We can name it what it will relate to and what it will do. So functions basically allow the task to already be made and to fire it just by one line of code instead of doing it. And if you don't want to copy and paste a bunch of code over and over, if you can do the same thing, then I'd recommend using functions since they're a very optimized way of making scripts. So local function, and how about we print the part's name? So let's say print part name, and then we're going to do curly brackets, and then we're going to go outside of those curly brackets, and we're going to hit enter, and that's going to make an end. This will basically describe that this is the end of the function. Now let's do a print statement. So we're going to do print my part dot name, because we're trying to find out the name of the part. So let's go back to the game and we're going to run it, and oh, I don't see it in the output here. What's happening? So we didn't actually execute this right here. We have to say it. So we're going to go down a few lines, and we're going to do print. We're going to do print part name, and then curly brackets. And now if we run the game, you can see we'll have the part's name right here. And we can actually run more lines of code in the same function. So let's do enter here after the print. And how about we just say print the part name is here. And this will basically execute both the print my part name and the part name is here, just by one line of code here. So let's go back to the game. Let's run it. As you're going to see, we have the part name is here and the parts. So it basically executes what's in this function here, and it will do that task once we want to call the print part name function. Now, what else can we do here? So let's reference a different part. So how about we reference, say, this mesh part here. So we're going to say the game, which relates to the game that we're working on, dot workspace, which is saying the workspace here, dot mesh part. And this will go to the mesh part here because it's in the workspace, which is in the game. Instead, how about we change this? So this is basically like variables. So we're going to say part name. And you might be a bit confused on what we're going to do here, but this is basically like variables. If we replace this, once we put it here, as you're going to see, we have the part name now. And how about we replace my part with part name, and we can go down here to where we execute it, and we can say my part here. And what this will do is we'll replace the part name with my part because it's the same position as part name. This is basically just doing my part without the part name, since we're calling it here and replacing part name with my part. And I know this may sound a bit confusing, but I hope you understand this. So now if we run the game, it'll actually say mesh part, because that mesh part, which is relating to the mesh part.name. And how about we add another variable called maybe number, and we can also print the number's name. So we can say number, and we can do this by doing a comma and then number. And we go back down here to where we execute it, and now we have number here. So we can say comma and probably do something like 4, and that's going to print the number 4 right here. So let's run the game, and as you'll see, we have the number 4 here, and our mesh part name, and the part name is here. So how about we combine the part name and this here, this string. So let's delete this, and how about we say the part name is space or how about, or no, we have to space this out first. So it'll space out between the part name. So and then we say part name. And how about we also put the number here as well? So we do that, and we can do quotes, comma, and the number is space, and then space then number. So this will say the part name is part name, which will be the mesh part, and the number is the number, which is 4. So let's run the game here again. Oh, oh, okay, I forgot. Okay, we have to do dot name here. Or how about we make this simpler by just naming it part, because then it's not really the part name. So we name it part dot name is equal to this. So this time it should work. And there we go. The part name is mesh part and the number is 4. So how do we specify that this is a, well, part if someone else can't really understand it, if it's not really the instance that's supposed to be? So I want this to be specified as a part. So we're going to do space, colon, space, and we're going to search part. So let's add that. Forgot to capitalize it. And for number, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do space, colon, space, and we're going to search number. And instead of saying a, it will say part, because it's a part, the number, and a number. So we can probably say choose and selected, just to differentiate the defined word against what the type of it is. So we're going to replace it with selected and number with choose. So this will say the same thing again. It won't change anything, but it'll help specify what the variable type is supposed to be. In the next episode, we're going to go over state properties and how to change them into scripts. So say we'd probably want to change maybe the color of this truss. We will be able to do that. How about we change the mesh ID of this tree here to change it to something else? That'll be for another episode, and I'll see you guys later.